Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Alyssa, and today we are doing a big swatch party. You're only going to be seeing one color right now, but I'm actually going to be doing all the different colors and having those post. So my arm is going to get all sorts of stained and tired, but you know, it's fine. I like to do this because it's fun to see what I have in my collection, what things might be dupes for each other, what aren't, you know. Sometimes something looks red, but it ends up being more pink. So, you know, we're gonna play around with that. For this, today, I am going to attempt to swatch my red eyeshadows, knowing that some of them might end up more pink. So this might turn into a red and pink, but I'm gonna try to go more red. So if you wanna see all the reds in my collection, then please keep watching. If you wanna see all the different colors, then you can subscribe and see all the videos as they go up. All right, I always like to start with the matte eyeshadows just because then they're kind of the easiest to keep my arm clean and, you know, not sparkles everywhere. So I do have some different reds spread throughout here. So I'm gonna have this one from my Prados palette. That one actually has a pan, although I just kind of covered it up. This one from my Fairy Tale Fairies palette. Although I'm sorry, you couldn't see that. This one from my Fairy Tale Fairies palette. Then I have this one that I know is not really red, but it looks like it. And so it's the shade Moody in my Dots palette. So it always ends up more pink, although it's looking red right now, so we'll see. And I also have this shade, which was from the Vivid Pigments palette. And I have more than this, but this is all I can do right now. So we're gonna learn from previous times and start pretty high. So we had Prados, then we had Fairy Tale Fairies, then we had from the Dots. Those are actually very similar. And then this was from the Colored Rain, from the Vivid Pigments, although it's almost looking orangey. Okay, continuing with these red mattes, I am actually gonna do this one that looks kind of orange, but when I used it on myself, it was almost more red. So I'm gonna do that one, which is also then from the Vivid Pigments. And then in my Juicy Boost palette, this Cranberry Vanilla shade could actually go. So I'm gonna try that one. It's sort of somewhere between pink and red. And then Apple Strawberry. And that's gonna be it for my reds. So see how this does, it does look kind of orange next to it, but I know in person, it's actually reading more red. So I think it's a little bit with the camera and a little bit depends on how it shows up on me. So that Cranberry Vanilla, it's almost looking, you know, like I said, a little pink, but also a little red. In person, I feel like it's a little bit more pink, but on the camera then it's a little more red. And then this one, again, okay, I got really cut off by my storage getting full. So I'm sorry, this is gonna be a little bit weird because I'm like, what exactly was I saying? So let me kind of get back into this. Looking at my swatches here, like I said, there is a little bit of a difference in how it looks in person right now for me versus what I'm seeing on the camera screen here. I feel like everything's a little bit more cool toned in person than what I'm seeing on there, but it also could just be, you know, maybe my perspective. Even though they're matte eyeshadows, I feel like, you know, sometimes just depends a bit. But yeah, so this is going to be all of the matte red eyeshadows that I have. If I'm trying to think about any shimmery shades, I feel like most of them are more on the pink side. Something I am kind of interested in seeing next to this though, is there's a shade in my Crystallized palette. And yes, you're like, that's blue. But there's a shift to it that my friend on here, Kay, Makeup Lens, she says that it's like a red shimmer for her. And for me, I feel like it's always more orange. So yeah, I can see maybe a little bit of the red that she's talking about next to these reds. But I feel like for me, it is more orange. And so that might just be, you know, a difference in skin tone. And I would say in person, I see more orange than, again, what I'm seeing on the camera. Like that's almost, it's like, there's like a pop of red and then it goes more orange on the camera. but in person it's mostly orange. Maybe I can see a bit of pink, which could kind of go into red. But yeah, so this is what I have for this, and yeah, this was pretty quick, but it is, you know, just red. I know I don't have a ton of reds, but now we're gonna start going into oranges and pinks and all the other things. So you can keep watching all the other videos, but thank you for watching this one, and until my next one, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye!